For the family. Dude, I just love how wholesome this is. Why is this still paused? There we go. Unpaused. WarPath and the FU community. I love that you give the community credit. Very good. Welcome, everyone. Fire Emblem, The Seven Siblings. Fire Emblem 8 ROM hack by WarPath and family. Love it. Say hello, WarPath. How are you?
Hello.
Excellent. Well, glad to be here again. I am Pandan, and very excited to be playing Fire Emblem The Seven Siblings once again for Fire Emblem E3 2020. I was about to say 2019, but we're here in 2020. That's the current year. Sometimes I forget. But we have some. I love the new UI stuff, dude. This looks really cool. The spiky
Thanks.
motif.
Yeah, it's not the most fancy thing, but at least it's clean. You know, looks changes it up a little bit from the dragons that everybody's so used to. So
For sure. And I love how this is the first song.
yeah, I don't really know why it just kind of happened.
You just kind of have.
You know, now you can't really change that. So
No, you can't. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, anyway, let's get into a new game. We'll play on normal mode, yeah? Hard mode still.
sounds good. Yep, hard is not balanced yet. Hopefully within the next year I can get around to that. But
So, for those of you watching, I've played Seven Siblings before. I played through an older build, I want to say now, like over a year ago. And I played this last year at FEE3. And I know WarPath you've worked on a lot, and I know this is new. So tell us a little bit about some changes that have been happening. I'll just kind of have to scroll in the background.
yeah, sounds good. So basically, since last year at FE3, I basically rewrote the entire plot from scratch. So this hack used to take place in Magville, the world of FE8, but that was really limiting. I had ideas for what to do with that initially, but I pretty much went a completely different direction with the story, so none of that was really relevant anymore, and it was just annoying to continue that. So I kind of scrapped all of that, rewrote everything, made a fancy world map, and we're here. This is a bit of a lore dump here, and I may change it or kind of rearrange it a little bit, but I figured for FE3 we're gonna keep the big text in. We're gonna show off the requantized world map. So there you go.
I gotta say, dude, the eventing here is really spectacular, and the map does look excellent. Like, I would say normally, I mean, you know this, like I will say, like generally, like don't put a big world map in at the start of your hack. But, like, if you're gonna do it, like this is the right way to do it. Like this is quality stuff.
Thanks.
I am curious, like, so when it comes to the story, like, how much do these different places like play a role, like early on, or is it more of a thing that like kind of becomes more pertinent as the story
So
progresses?
I wouldn't say that the specific places don't. A lot of this intro is to kind of set up intrigue. The whole crux of the thing is that there was a big conflict, like basically a World War 20, and things have been pretty quiet since. But then there's indicators that, hey, things have not really been quiet. Things are not the way you think they are. So.
Oh, new art! Look at this. I like that Scott and Ariana now have headgear. They both have headgear, and
yeah,
you know, it's very cute.
Thanks. Yeah, I know that I'm not the best artist, but bit better than vanilla recolors. So.
Sure. I like though that Scott is still very much a Dark Splice. I like that.
Yes, definitely recognizable.
Palette here too.
Yeah. Something that Flaccibon made that I just edited. Credit to him, he does some really cool stuff.
That's awesome. And you've been doing just about all of the development on this yourself, barring a couple of things here and there.
Yeah, for the most part, I do it myself. You've 1211 has helped me a little bit with palettes and stuff, but
Very There he is. It's Scott. I love this battle for him too. Like you said, the hack, I think you've done a great job of giving the hack its own aesthetic that I think, like the color, I think part of it is like, because this is one of the rare hacks of the modern day that doesn't use the skill system at all, there are certain things you can do that are a bit different in the narrow text, new icons, but also just like the text color. I feel like a lot of people don't touch that. We got a self-insert lord here.
Yeah, the self-insert lord. Yeah, the menu's a little different. You can check growths now, which is one of the nice new quality of life things. So shout out to Tequila.
Shout out to Tequila. All right, so we got some growths here. I like when the growths aren't like colored, because it just is distracting. I kind of just like being able to look at the numbers or not have to think about it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty distracting too.
Good. I like the custom icons as well.
New MMB too.
Nice 15 healing vulnerary is into it. New MMB. Did you make this MMB?
I did, yeah, I did. I don't know why I decided to start tinkering with it, and then we arrived here. So it's kind of a combination of the VQ box and the Red FE box, because I kind of like the narrow style, so it's pretty useful.
It's sleek, and I like that it shows the essentials. I totally get it too. It can be tough to show like res, which is another one that's important, but it's often not as relevant anyway. So I think this is like a good, quick snapshot. And forgive me, but like I know like when it comes to like general audience as well for this hack, and I think a lot of your design philosophy is informed by this, from my understanding, and just for the viewers to get better understanding. A big part of like the development for the project comes from what's it called? Like developing it for like your siblings to actually play themselves too, right?
Yeah. You'll notice this is a 2-unit prologue. You know, 2-unit prologue can be pretty tutorial-y. But this hack, by my brothers and sisters, who are not the best at Fire Emblem, so I debated with this a long time, but I've wanted to keep, in the end, I've wanted to keep a much slower early game ramp to introduce them to the game slowly. We'll also make and inoffensive a more experienced player. So while this chapter, you'll probably make pretty quick work of this 2-unit chapter. It probably shouldn't take you any more than, not commentating, it probably wouldn't take you any more than like 3 or 4 minutes maximum. So
sure, and that makes sense, right? Like your siblings are quite a bit younger. They're not experienced Fire Emblem players. You're kind of thinking of the design from the lens of like how Intelligent Systems thinks about like ramping up a new player to the series. So I think that's like I think that's the kind of thing that like I feel like some hackers will just like make a chapter or make like their early game kind of similar to like a Lin mode without really knowing why. And then like the community at large who like they're saying it's for is like, I don't need this, like I need something more scary. And so I think knowing that like you have a core audience in mind is super key to like guiding these decisions. And there's that random movement zombie over here.
Oh no, he's going for the village.
Oh, he's
if you
going for
read
the
the text. Yeah.
Oh heck. Alright, we gotta move and groove then.
Yeah, this chapter is I wouldn't call it easy, but it's if you're not paying attention, you can get.
I might be dead.
You can bait him because he has a heart of mercy.
Will he go for? He won't go for Ariana though, and I can't shove. This guy doesn't move, but he does have a heart of mercy. Oh wait, I can make this work.
Yeah, I think you can. I think there's a solution here.
Yeah. He's teaching your siblings trade strats. What a good brother.
Yeah. Whole point of this chapter, is I wanted to teach them attack. Do not do it if you do not have to. And make sure you trade around, and you can't just be throwing units into places.
like these reinforcements coming in the back too.
Yeah.
Gives you something else to worry about. I like this new sprite for Ariana as well.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the new Huntress that was released pretty recently. I like it a lot. It's very smooth.
It is a smooth animation. I'm sure. The brown gem.
Yeah. It's also part of one of the big things I've been doing recently. The little bit.
You cut out there, WarPath. Can you say that again?
Oh, I said one of the things I've been working on recently is rebalancing the economy. Teal gem helps with that a little bit.
Teal gem. The legendary teal gem.
Yes.
Let's start shooting here.
But yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Ariana and Scott are both technically lords, right?
Yeah, they're both game over units. Only Ariana is forced most of the time. But you'll probably, and I'd say, kind of like Titus in Vision Quest, most players will probably end up using.
Yeah, you'll probably just end up using Scott too.
Yes.
Big strength. I like that his
Big
skill
strength.
got his buffed a little bit.
Yeah, he went from 2 to 3.
I like all this custom music too. I'm not selling the armor, I'm selling the brown gem.
Yeah. This armory's pretty bare bones, but vulnerary helps if you want it.
Yeah, I'll take that. Shop action. Scott can just do this.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's pretty much exists so that you can visit the chapter doesn't end. So.
Makes sense. Very cool. I like these. Are these the Telly's backgrounds?
These are, so I don't know where he got them from, but these are some wave backgrounds that he did. Yeah, so these are really cool. These are like, cornfields, and so that's perfectly fitting. So.
The cornfields. Sack takes place in the good old American Midwest.
Yes. The good old Midwest. Yeah, I also cut down on a lot of the dialogue. I think one of my weaknesses as a writer is I tend to use 10 sentences when I could use 2. So I've been trying to cut down on that a lot. Make the writing a lot more concise, a lot more readable.
Sure, that makes sense, and I can feel that too, because I remember when I played last time it was a bit more dense, but I mean obviously like, it was such a first draft at that point. Now it's got a bit different. And we got bandits with these custom brigand sprites here.
Yeah, another Flasuban.
I like these sword mercenary twos. They sound similar to the axe one, but with swords.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea there. I wanted a map sprite that kind of fit with the salvaged merc a little bit better, so that was the idea there.
I like how this map, it's a simple layout, it's a single screen, but I like that you have 2 choices of where to go on this first turn.
Yeah, this map is, I don't know, this map is interesting because only map in the game without a formal anti-turtle, but every single enemy on the map eventually charges you. So it really doesn't matter, because you will deal with all of them eventually.
Yeah, the map makes you, and I think that's really important, especially in a map like this. Is this a route or defeat boss?
This is defeat boss.
Yeah, I think that charging enemies in general are good. It's a good way to just like make the deal with stuff. I think like in the context of classical animation.
Yeah.
And is that Shining Force music I hear?
Yes, that is Shining Force music.
My first thought was like, hey, it's Bloodlines. I'm like, oh wait, no, it's Shining Force then.
get the 2 more units.
Weston and Sarah are back.
Mm-hmm.
Enthusiastic but naive Pegasus Knight. Classic Peg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's pretty much an early game Pegasus Knight. No real surprises there.
Ooh, the Free Knight. I like it. Very gracious.
Yep, we're Kaga here.
We're going full Kaga. A young knight. Polite and reliable, but self-doubting. Looking forward to Weston's arc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does actually get an arc later on, so.
Weston. Ooh, the white horse. The gray steed. I'm into that.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this song from, the player face theme?
This is from Final Fantasy VI.
Okay. I was gonna say, it sounds really familiar.
Yeah, and it's pretty. So there's Final Fantasy VI GBA, so I was just able to port the song pretty easily. So.
Sure. To keep Ariana safe, because I don't think. Oh, I can do this, yeah?
Yeah, that could work, I think.
Let's try this. Get rid of the sword
Nice.
guy. Scott with
Yeah, the hat.
his 3 skill.
Yeah, the hatchet is pretty much Scott's. What do you call it? His
PRF.
yeah, his PRF, his kind of crutch until he actually can hit things or fight lance people. So. Oof.
Lucky dodge.
Yeah. Tanking with the archer.
Yeah, that could have been bad. Teaching your siblings to tank with their archer is good.
Yeah.
Alright. I think my favorite comment, WarPath, from when I played last time, when I did the LP, was when you told me that one of your siblings was like, that guy really can talk a lot. He can really talk about this game for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
That was my youngest brother.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah. They enjoyed it though. They really appreciated it. They all like got down in the living room and watched it together, just so you know. So
That's really
it's kind of
wholesome.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
Cool. I actually think I'm gonna die.
Maybe you need to learn to attack at 2 range first.
Maybe I do. I'm relearning Fire Emblem. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna do this at least.
Yeah, these chapters are, again, I wouldn't call them terribly hard, but if you're not paying attention, you'll get into trouble. So.
Yeah. Steel Axe Boy. Yeah, this is gonna end poorly, I think, for me. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's a reset. Alright.
No, you're not forgiven.
How would you say this hack is for Iron Man?
I'd say it's not. I tried to make. I wouldn't call it Iron Man friendly. But it's definitely Iron Man possible. After chapter 8 or so, I'd say it gets a lot more Iron Man friendly. You start to get a lot more units. The maps get. The maps in general. One of my design philosophies is I rarely ever include like a hard timer in maps. I prefer a lot of more soft timers to make it more accessible for players.
Makes sense.
And so I feel like you could get by playing not optimally, playing Iron Man. So I think it's doable. I've tried it myself a couple times, but I can pretty much get through the early game pretty much in my sleep at this point. So I'm not really sure how much me saying that means anything.
That's fair. I would say, like, for this chapter, the first thing that I would comment on as far as like a potential improvement would be, because like you can split, and I feel like I was inclined to go for the terrain here. But it ended up being a worse choice because I got surrounded first, and knowing that the reinforcements come from the south, now I decided to go south to cluster up instead to spread around that damage. I wonder, like, could Weston and Sarah turn up on like turn 1 instead, like reinforce like on the first turn of the map, so that it's clear, like, hey, you have 2 units coming here.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just to avoid getting to the situation I just found myself in.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think that my hope was that you're gonna try and send Scott versus the axe guy there, and try and not enemy phase the sword guys. But yeah, I can definitely change it up a little bit and just have them be there turn 1, so that you have more to do, are more informed for future turns.
Yeah, I think that's a big part, and I think that's because I think that just kind of it becomes a little trial and error-y at times, and I think like thankfully like, you know, you're doing this on turn 2 in chapter 2 with a 2-turn.
Yeah, it's pretty short. So
it's pretty short and it's pretty forgiving. It's not like I invested an hour into the map to find out like key information that would have completely changed my approach. This happened in like 5 minutes, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
And as far as like your philosophy with like general balancing of units, I mean, this is only the 2nd chapter, but like the damage output doesn't seem like super crazy high, like I feel like a lot of other hacks are doing right now, myself included. It seems to be a little bit more grounded in like FE8, FE7 type of balancing, would you say, in terms of like stats and just like the general like split of like player phase, enemy phase like orientation?
Yeah, I think that generally I try, for the early game at least, I try and make it a lot about matchups. So like Sarah here, she does pretty well versus the mercenaries because she's fast and has a lance. But if oh wow, this is just not going well for you today.
FE3 2020. WarPath siblings, I challenge you to do better than me.
We were just talking about how low the damage output was.
We're talking about how accessible this game is for new players. That's really funny. No, I'm just not paying as close of attention. Still drinking my first espresso. Give me some time.
Yeah, it's a little early for you to be playing Fire Emblem. So
it is 5:59 in the morning here in Seattle. All right.
But yeah, I try to make the early game a lot about matchups where if you put Scott versus the Brigand there, he does pretty well, but you know, he's a little unreliable versus the bandit here. His hit rate's not very good. He's probably going to take some damage in return, so
I could see what's it called? I feel like Scott would benefit from some more lance enemies here.
Yeah. Yeah, I've changed up the composition a little bit in this chapter. Could have had like a lance bandit type class, which could be kind of fun thematically too. So
yeah, I can see it. Sarah, some work here. Please dodge. Yes, thank you.
it's interesting to me to see how you approach this chapter, because I pretty much play these chapters the same way every single time.
Sure.
So
yeah, once you know what you're doing, it's a lot easier, I think. I haven't played this chapter in a long time. It's a little bit different than I remember it, but
yeah. Added in
there's that saying
another.
about commentary.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, there's that saying about commentary that it like uses up a good portion of your brain that otherwise
Yeah.
doesn't get used, or gets used
Yeah.
to actually play the map. So I apologize to the viewers if I am, and also to you if I'm making this not as easy as it should be.
Nah, it's okay. I just, I was just chuckling to myself because low damage output, and then Ariana was almost one shot. So
There we go.
oh, that'll help.
Gotta be more mindful. Just gotta play it low and slow, like cooking ribs in the oven.
Yeah, this is a little bit, with a little map like this, positioning is basically everything. Positioning is the name of the game on a map like this.
Definitely is about teaching positioning, and I could use some lessons from Professor WarPath on that.
It's just, Yeah, and so you gotta play carefully, check ranges and stuff, but you know, that's not all that fun when you're co-commentating to do, so that's kind of my own fault too, is I went with the early game this year, because last year we showed off mid-game, but it was just a lot of playing and not a lot of seeing what the game was all about, so to speak, so I decided we'll change it up, we'll play something a little bit easier, or was supposed to be easier.
I mean, again, at least it's not like we're playing for an hour and dying. We're playing for like 10 minutes and dying. Bah. Those D-list mercenaries. Oh, he's gonna charge in. I love this. I think he's about to say, "Oh, why'd my text turn red?" All right. Gotta keep moving.
Yep. So these guys appear. Boss will charge. I don't think he charges. I think he waits a turn, and then he charges.
Okay.
So you've made it to kind of phase 2.
I did it. I'm endgame ready.
Yes.
So how many chapters are done in this current build, and how many more are planned? How are things going with on the development side?
So 17 is what's in the public release right now. And in the patch you're playing, there's actually 20 that I'd call production ready, so to speak. Probably gonna do 2 more and then release a build with 22 chapters.
Very cool.
And then there's only 7 more planned for the rest of the hack. So I would hope that within the next year and a half, I can get out a 1.0. So
Nice, man. Good stuff. And is that also inclusive of things like supports and all that as well?
yeah, I would hope that the first, well, there's no supports or anything. The 2 big things other than chapters that I need to do are write supports and balance hard mode.
Sure.
So those are the 2 other big tasks besides just making chapters that need to be done. So
Got it. Makes sense. This chapter is really about like the order that you move your units and like spreading around the damage.
yeah,
I think to your point, like it looks simple, but it's actually kind of deceptive because of just like the enemies that you're dealing with.
yeah. I mean, it's like I said,
Also
it's
a
just
noob.
it's just designed to teach you like, all right, Ariana can really soften things up first, give me a much easier time. Weston is gonna do all right versus everybody, but he's not gonna be great versus anybody. Things like that. So more strength.
Okay, now we're gonna watch out for Vincent here.
Yeah. These guys all charging at once is kind of a little bit of a puzzle here, because you got to figure out how to deal with them, and there's more than one way to do it.
I'm thinking I'm just gonna play it safe here and just take the forest. Weston can take the point, and we'll see kind of how things go from there. Let's see. Big level for my boy West. There we go.
Nice.
3 knights. Alright, how are you doing against the boss? Not terribly, but not a lot, so I think we're just gonna have to chill.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there's no penalty for waiting other than your pride. So
Pride. Yeah, other than like, Scry's is gonna yell at you.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so
I mean, that's the upshot of being proactive about. Oh, yep, that was a random text ID there. But yeah, if you're proactive about clearing out the enemies, you can kind of do some cheese with the boss if you so choose. So
sure, it's a little bit of a reward for that's your anti-turtle, as it makes things easier.
yeah.
Because I'm totally noobing out and just playing low and slow here.
Sometimes low and slow's the way to go.
You know, gives you tender ribs. Gives you some good time.
Whatever works.
Exactly.
Defense on my archer, just what I wanted.
Yeah. The most important stat. Alright, let's see. I want to try and end this. Okay, so 9, 6. Let's see. I think we can try this.
Yeah, if the hatchet hits, you can probably do it.
Gracia.
Yep.
Let me pillage in peace.
He's a smart guy. He's a simple man. He just, you know, wants to be able to raise villages. So.
Let me do my thing, please. Let's do. We'll do this with the Sarah. We'll use the slim sword for an extra hit.
Yeah, I don't know why he still starts with the slim sword because it's pretty useless, but it's something I kept from the very first version and I just have never changed it. So you get the only slim sword in the game here.
Have you thought about with slim weapons, like just giving them, like what I've been thinking about, like as I've been just like working on some stuff in the background, is like giving slim weapons absurd hit and a little bit more might and making them higher rank. So they're kind of like a light alternative to steel at D rank.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I've thought about maybe changing them from slims altogether and making kind of like what are they called? The crystal weapons from Road to Ruin that are pretty much just steel plus, or basically lighter and more accurate steel weapons. So I've thought about doing things like that. There are also great lances and poleaxes in this hack.
Oh, that's good.
In addition to blades, so that's kind of where I get some of that variety. But yeah. So yeah, that took longer than I thought. So maybe we shouldn't play the next map, but we can at least take a look at it,
Sure.
see the opening event and everything. So
Yeah, let's do that then. But yeah, yeah, I think the other thing you could consider with slim weapons too is like the FE7X approach with the fine weapons as well, which I think are functionally like crystal weapons with a slightly different stat spread, but I think crystal weapons in general are a cool idea. I think just like the base game just doesn't have like mid-rank weapons that are worth using, and so often like the base game is just like I can just use iron weapons because they're cheap and they do the job.
Yeah.
And steel weapons are often too heavy to justify.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of hacks are doing a better job of rebalancing the weapons and adding in new weapons at like the middle tiers of the game. Like I think Vision is very much like, I think the majority of the game, like steel weapons are probably going to be what you're using. But it's interesting to see like different takes on it. I think that makes every hack a little unique and fun.
Yeah, I think that definitely, you know, in vanilla, like the steel lance is so bad. It's very heavy. It's inaccurate.
Yeah.
So I've tried to balance that a little bit, but yeah, I think that it's being able to bridge that gap a little better so that steals.
I like this. Whoa, new will.
Yep, this is a new will.
He's you and no more.
Yeah, I've been trying to get all the straight recolors out of the hack.
It's fair. It takes time, man. When you're doing this by yourself, it just takes so much time. Custom made animation too.
Yeah.
Is it like the FE4 style you call it or something?
Yeah. With the little arm poking out there.
Little arm. Would you say that were there any like major inspirations from existing FE games as you kind of designed this? I mean, aesthetically, I'm getting very like Young Girl vibes. Gameplay feels GBA-ish, but I'm curious like your thoughts.
Yeah, I'd say that aesthetically, really did lean into FE4, FE5. Gameplay is a mix of a lot of different things. GBA, some DS influence, As for story, I think I really lean into FE9 a lot for the tone of the story and everything. So.
Here he is, Will.
Mhm.
Growth unit mage.
Mhm.
I remember Will was dominant when I last played.
Yeah, he's pretty good. If he gets, especially if he gets some speed pretty early on, he can get going pretty quickly. But he's a little bit of a liability at first.
He talks to Ariana, right?
He talks to. Oh, well, you can check because we have the talk display.
That's true. So let me do this. Check out these strats. Check out these strats.
Yeah, talk display is something that I had not implemented yet, but was able to do recently, which is just a pretty nice quality of life thing. So here's Will. Yeah, that's a nice thing. That's something new I've added. Is I've added probably around 50 or so new talk conversations to existing chapters, just to add some flavor, and they're fun. So.
Yeah, those are some growths right there. Holy heck! 80
Yep.
magic. That's hilarious.
Yep. He is. He can get going pretty quickly, but he'll always be made out of tissue paper. So.
Yeah, 15% defense to defense stays. Well, cool, man. I know we are coming up on time, but was there any closing words or messages that you want to share? Anyone else we should thank you for Seven Siblings or anything else you want to call out?
Yeah, I want to just thank the community for all the tools, assets, everything you make. You guys are great. You guys make this hobby possible by everything you do. I want to thank my family. They'll probably watch this video at some point, so love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, just wanted to thank you, Dan. Thanks for doing this. It's always fun.
Yeah,
so
super fun. I'm sorry I died so much.
No, that's totally fine. I mean, part of that's on me as the designer. So
that's why we do this, right? We're always learning. Watching other people play is just like the most valuable thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I set up this wrong because I would have played it differently if I was actually playing.
Oh yeah.
The conversations,
but hey, nobody died the first turn, so you did something right.
There we go. We're making it happen. But anyway, guys, thanks again for joining us for FEE3 2020 presentation of Seven Siblings WarPath. I think you've done a great job with the aesthetics of this hack. It looks great.
Thanks.
Major updates from last year. I think 17 chapters is nothing to sneeze at. I think there's a lot of gameplay here to enjoy, some good ideas to take away. Music is mostly custom now at this point too. Lots to like. And just a very wholesome premise. It's about the family. Keep that in mind, guys. Family's important. But anyhow, thanks again for watching. Definitely check this one out. And WarPath, they can get the most recent patch on your thread on Fire Emblem Universe, yeah?
Yep. And hopefully within the next couple months, I'll have a new update. So.
Terrific. Well, again, thank you, everyone. I am Pandan, and I'm joined here by WarPath, creator of the Seven Siblings. And we'll take it from there. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.